Hold up! A local theater is making their triumphant return.
What?
Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to the ArtsFam podcast.
It's the only show of its kind that spotlights the arts and entertainment scene in Southern Maryland.
We're your hosts, Lindsey, Pommerenck, and James LePore.
Hello, Clarice. Oh,
Oh, God. That's going to live in my nightmares. Woohoo!
always got to throw something out there just to get a giggle out of my co-host. I'm sorry.
And every week we bring you an engaging interview with a local artist or entertainer that's part of something that you can enjoy right here in Southern Maryland. Plus, we offer you even more bonus fun things to do this week. As you're always saying, James.
There is more to do in Southern Maryland than you have time to do. And don't even try to debate us on that, because today we've got 8 things
Yeah.
that you can do.
Plus the main thing.
The main thing,
Yeah.
and then 8 things that you can do this week.
I got to ask first, James, what did you get up to this weekend?
I went to Pennsylvania.
Oh!
The third member of the ArtsFam, because there's 2 silent partners,
Yeah.
Amanda and Liz. My daughter Amanda, LePore Collier, built a house in Pennsylvania, moved. This is the first time I went up to see it.
Nice.
And then on the way home, I did an audition for a short film that's going to be part of the Southern Maryland Film Festival.
Oh!
So that'd be my second one.
Ooh!
And Amanda had this golden moment. Catch this. We go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
And we all sit down. And the hostess kind of looking funny at Amanda. And then she comes over and she says, Do I know you? Like, are you like on TV? Or Amanda's like, no, but I am an actress and I do stage. And the lady's like, oh, okay. Walks away. Comes back like a minute later and is like, you started Barefoot in the Park.
Aww.
You were amazing. And she went on and on and on. And Amanda was just glowing. And so was I, because I was so proud of her.
Yeah, I mean, as like the dad to the successful local actress. Oh my God.
You know what? Community
we love
theater,
it.
you don't get paid money.
No.
But what do you get paid? You get paid stuff like that in the lobby as people are walking out, or even weeks later when somebody says, I saw you, you were great.
And I think it fills your heart too. It allows you to have that creative outlet that so many of us need.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us are a bank teller or a nurse or what have you, and community theater gives us that much needed release that we need.
Yeah, just to expand yourself and just be something else or do something else.
Yeah.
And I've always found it like exhilarating, which is why I jumped into it.
Yeah. So speaking of community theater, do you want to know what I got up to this weekend?
I would love to find out, and I'm sure our viewers would too.
All right. Well, it's coming up. Stay right there.
Oh my gosh, guys. Hi. Ha. I am here with the lovely Ms. Nora Jones. She is the director of Hard Bargain Players, the newest production of The Christians. And y'all, they have not had a show since before COVID. And oh my gosh, what a show.
Thank you.
To reopen theater here with.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, we're very excited to be working back in this space again.
Okay.
Like you said, I mean, we have been closed since before COVID. Our last show was in August of 2019.
Oh my God.
And so we've had years of just no one being down here, the theater overgrowing. It's been a lot of work to get this place, up and running again, up to the point where we can do a show. And I am just so happy to be doing this one.
What is a basic synopsis, just so people can kind of know what they're getting into?
Of course, yeah. So The Christians by Lucas Snaith, it is about a pastor at a mega church, and he's got a large congregation, maybe 10,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great church. They just paid off their debt, but the problem is that Pastor Paul doesn't believe in hell. And he is finally ready to tell the church that he no longer believes in hell, and the church itself will no longer preach that hell is real. And it is about the schism that follows. A little more, deep. It's more about faith in general. It's about why we believe the things that we believe. What pulls us to listen to reason or ignore it, in face of our faith. And I think what's really interesting about this show is that whether or not you actually, are a believer, you consider yourself a Christian or anything like that, there is something in this show for everyone, because it just addresses the questions of why we feel anything, really.
Yeah. No, I definitely, guys, 100% can vouch for that. As someone who, I don't get super personal on this podcast, but as somebody who has been on a faith journey for many, many years, yes, I wholeheartedly agree with what you just said, how this does offer something where if you are a Christian and you're the stereotypical like evangelical kind of conservative, I think you could pull something from this. If you are someone like me who's on a journey, you could pull something from this. If you're someone who has been burned by the church, pull something. It's very open to interpretation, especially that ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but I was just like, is it?
It's certainly a show that I think it calls on people to just reevaluate their own beliefs.
Right. And I feel like that is, or should be, the primary purpose of all art, right? That's one of the beautiful things about art, is that you and I could look at the same painting or the same show and get two completely different things from it.
Yeah.
And, oh, God. So what made you select this show?
Well, so I grew up in the church.
Okay.
I went to Sunday school, my entire life, even when I was a little baby. Always enrolled in, vacation Bible school.
Mm-hmm.
I was homeschooled for a lot of my youth, and our curriculum
So
was.
you were
very, I was
in it.
Look, I read Eusebius's History of the Church when I was 12 years old. Like that's how deep into it I was.
Wow. Okay.
I chose this show because it mirrored my own journey.
Okay.
Of growing up in the church, of being told that the feelings that I feel inside are from God, the
Mhm.
feelings that I feel are God's way of speaking to me, and then having that feeling dictate what I believe and change what I believe.
Yeah.
I went from someone who, very much believed in the Bible to not believing in the Bible at all. I still have my faith in God, but it's become much more complex, much more nuanced. And I have had to sit down and really think about why I believe the things that I do. And,
Yeah.
and that's why I chose this show. It spoke to me on a spiritual level. It spoke to me on a personal level. And I think it will honestly speak to anyone who comes see it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, God, that explanation even, I think, is enough of a draw that you have a director who has quite literally poured her soul into her art.
I think anytime you do a show, you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all shows are just, an expression of the people who work on it. And I'm very thankful that, I have an amazing cast and crew. This is everyone's collaborative vision together.
Okay, so tell us about your lovely cast and crew, because I mean, I didn't see the crew, obviously. That's the whole point. But the cast.
The cast is, they're pretty good, yeah.
God, did you cast them well?
Yeah.
Dear Lord, have mercy.
I'm very thankful that we have who we have. We did not have a lead for about half of our rehearsal time.
How did that work?
Well, we were originally going to do a completely different show, but
Okay.
for unfortunate reasons, we just weren't able to get it cast, and we had to go with this.
Yeah.
And as a result, we just didn't have anyone who came out for either audition that really fit the role. And so we were looking everywhere. We were trying to find someone who would be willing to come and take on the monumental amount of lines that this show has.
I mean, I honestly thought at first, because I didn't know anything about the show, at first I was like, is this just like a full monologue? But honestly,
it feels that way. Yet
I wouldn't be mad about it.
12 pages. That
Is
opens
that
with
much?
a
Oh
12-page monologue.
God.
Yeah. And so, but we found Dov, and
Yeah.
Dov came in, and I've known him for a long time. And so I was very grateful that he, accepted the position.
Yeah.
Because he's wonderful. And I mean, he quite literally saved the show. So it's a group of people who are professionals, who have, been working in theater almost as long as I have,
Yeah.
who I know on a personal level and work really well with. And I know have strong visions,
Yeah.
strong visions for what they want out of a character. They understand the scripts that they read, and they're able to bring so much heart and soul to it.
Okay, so what struck me about this is I am such a theater nerd, right? And the immersive element here. So uncomfortable.
You felt like you were in church, right?
But not like the good kind of church. Like the
Really?
the flashback to my nightmares. Where it's the veneer of perfect and the veneer of we care about you and we love you, but there's the asterisk, right? And that's, you did a good job.
There was certainly a very particular thing that I was trying to capture with this show.
Okay.
You know, my youth, I grew up in a lot of like large, you know, non-denominational churches.
Okay.
You know, your New Lives and your Grace Brethrens, and those types
Yeah.
of things. And so I certainly wanted to capture the spirit of that.
Yeah.
On a technical level, you know, between things like the video presentation, between the
Yeah.
lighting, I think it captures a modern church. But I also wanted to bring in kind of that old school 1920s Southern Baptist revival. You'll see a lot of that in the set. You'll see a lot of that in the costuming. Because I think at the heart of it, that's what this show really is. It's meant to be a revival in the audience's souls. You know, a revival of just belief in general. Another great enlightenment or a great awakening, you know, something like that.
Yeah, it definitely shows through that director's intent that you came into this with. And I liked that there was some interaction with the audience, but not enough to make me be like, oh my God, I signed up to be here. I did not sign up to be an actor here, but a spectator. So thank you for being judicious about that. Because I have been to shows in community theater where that's not the case.
No, I absolutely abhor any sort of audience interaction in a show. It was very difficult for me to include any audience interaction in this one in general. But I think it was necessary. I think like it works. For a show like this, you need the audience to be on board. You need the audience drawn into what you're doing. And I love immersive theater. I've always done immersive theater. So it was very important for me that the space needed to feel like a church in every way, shape, and form, even down to the Eucharist station over there.
Yeah, and the envelopes sitting in the seats.
The building fund, yeah.
God, if that didn't bring me back to some of the buildings I've been in over the years. So the level of detail, seriously, mad respect. So who designed this set?
Oh, I did.
Oh, so you're director and Lord have mercy. Okay. Okay.
Well,
wow.
It's a small theater. I mean, practically non-existent budget. You know, very small crew, very small cast. So honestly, everyone here had to wear multiple hats. I mean, cast helped, you know, with construction. You know, stage managers, our board operators. You know, everyone is doing whatever they can to just make it work.
Yeah. No, I love. God, I love the scrappy element of the smaller theaters. Like you guys, New Direction, Twin Beach. Like, oh God, you guys are so scrappy. And honestly, I'm obsessed. It's everything that community theater should be. You know, it's just, it's like watching a bunch of theater kids that never grew up, just like play and have fun, and then you as an audience by proxy get to feel that.
Well, that's why I like doing community theater, because of the collaboration. You know, I make sure that during the rehearsal process and when we're doing a show, I want to take input from everyone working on it. You know, my lighting designer, my stage manager, my cast. I want to hear their thoughts, their concerns, and I want to incorporate their vision into the show too. Because that's the only way you're going to get a good show, is by taking everyone's great ideas and bringing it together.
Yeah. So when you were directing this, were there any specific moments that you are particularly proud of?
The things that I am very proud of are the types of things that no one is ever going to notice.
But I love it.
The little tiny details that I put in just for me. Like, every character in the show is reading a different Bible that I think speaks to their personal views. Like, for example, Brother Joshua's character, you know, he's a little more Southern Baptist, fire brimstone, so he's reading the King James version,
the old
right?
King James,
of course,
not the new King Jimmy,
old King James, and then
okay.
Pastor Paul, who's very academic, and he's reading the New Standard Version. Okay, and so little things like that that I just try to throw in through the show. little details that only I'm going to pick up on. Those are my favorites.
Who has the message Bible? That's what I
The-
want to know. Sorry. Y'all, if you know, you know. You
Right.
got to rip
I
on
think,
the
I, think
message
if,
Bible.
I think if anyone, it would probably be Sister Elizabeth.
Okay,
That
okay.
probably
I
feels
love
right.
that. I love that. Okay, so was there a cool moment then that happened during the rehearsal process of an actor was like, hey, my character be doing this or thinking this during this situation?
I find that a lot of the most beautiful moments come accidentally.
Oh, okay.
There's a moment towards the end of the show between Pastor Paul and his wife
Mhm.
where they're talking about their relationship with one another and whether or not they still care for one another.
Yeah.
And one night, someone delivered a line a little weird, and they laughed. And all of a sudden, it broke the tension in the scene, and it felt so much more personal. It felt so much more real.
Yeah.
And I saw the relationship between them just come to life.
Yeah.
And of course, we kept it.
Yeah.
It's those moments. It's just working on a show over and over and trusting your actors and know that they're going to give you, the best they could possibly do, and finding those little beautiful moments to come out.
You're right. It that moment did seal the deal of like, I genuinely believed like these are two people that are in love, and this what's occurring between them is not easy, is not ideal.
I mean, any sort of crisis of faith is not
Yeah.
going to feel comfortable. It's not going to have easy answers. And that's what this show is really about. Just the crises of faith that we all feel in our day-to-day lives, whether that be actual faith or loss of faith in a partner, loss of faith in a position.
For those that want to come see this, how do they see this?
Our show runs May 31st until June 15th. Fridays, Saturdays, shows at 8 p.m. At the Hard Bargain Amphitheater in Accokeek. You can get tickets at hardbargainplayers.org, or you can visit us on Facebook, and you'll be able to find more information there.
And I'll put all of those lovely things on the screen, so it's super easy for you guys to find this amazing theater company and this amazing work of art. Seriously, guys.
Thank you.
Seriously. Okay, cool. Well, if this wasn't enough for you beautiful human beings to enjoy this week in Southern Maryland, stay tuned, because coming up next, James and I are going to give you even more bonus things that you can do this week. Stay right there.
Welcome back.
That was amazing. I am so sorry. Well, on one hand, I'm so sorry that I missed it and missed interviewing the director, and on the other hand, I had a great time in Pennsylvania. So,
I know.
life happens.
Well, what's great, though, is that they're playing 2 more weekends.
Oh.
Guys, if you haven't seen The Christians yet at Hard Bargain, get out there, because I'm telling you, it was such a timely story about religious deconstruction, and it wasn't preachy at any point. It kind of spoke to wherever you were at. You could take something completely different away. And especially, not only for my generation, the millennials, but I would say as a millennial, it spoke to me that disillusionment that comes sometimes with religious institutions. And what do you do with that? And
Wow.
it was great.
And sitting in an outdoor theater,
it was
too.
beautiful.
It's
Oh
like,
my God.
obviously it's not rain or shine if it's raining.
But
postpone the day. But, outside, I personally have never been there.
Oh my God.
And I would like to, but
Yes.
it's been closed for now a bunch of years.
Yeah. So this was my first time ever. And I remember I wanted to go before the pandemic when they were still open. I just never got a chance. And now I'm kicking myself because it was so cool. And the artists there are just so genuine and so just heartfelt in all of their work.
And they're on a stage, like
it's like a wooden stage. Yeah, and like they have a wooden box office, and they're actual bathrooms, kind of. So they're not porta potties or anything. And like it's just a really cool facility. But anyways, I could keep going about that because it was wicked cool. But more events. We should talk about that. What else
and
can
then we'll
people
get back
do?
to the bathrooms at Hard Bargain. Because I don't suppose you videoed any of that, did you? Damn it. Everybody enjoys knowing when they go to an outdoor show.
What the facilities
that
are
the
like?
Facilities are handy.
Okay, so bonus events. Friday, June 7th, there is First Friday in Leonardtown from 5 to 8 p.m. for the opening reception of in-house exhibit of tattoos by Snap Tattoo, which is the first tattoo shop in Leonardtown. It runs the month of June at the St. Mary's County Arts Council Gallery and Gift Shop. So, tattoos!
Wow.
Yay!
Does it have porta potties or a real bathroom? Or... Okay. But we have said, hey, if they're watching, I mean, we said we wanted to have
tattoos,
tattoos, right? Not matching
it
or
is
anything.
an art
cringe
form.
like that.
Oh God, no.
But
yeah.
we'll each get a tattoo.
It is absolute art. I mean, and it's like, if you think about it, it's like the ultimate like permanency in that you will have that on your body until the day that it is your time, which is like super cool.
Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci was going to put the Mona Lisa on his body, but then he said, I don't know, maybe
Better not.
I'll put it on canvas instead. So it's time once again this year for Hope in Harmony inaugural concerts. All 3 counties celebrate this, okay? Friday, June 7th, Calvert High School, 7 p.m. Saturday the 8th, South Potomac Church in White Plains. That's at 7 p.m. And Sunday, June 9th at Leonardtown High School, but that one's at 3 p.m. It's a nonprofit performing arts collective of exceptional musicians from Southern Maryland, talented musicians and amazing vocalists.
Next, on Friday, June 7th, something quite different, midget wrestling at the Rex. Midgets with Attitude at 7 p.m. with an after party following featuring DJ C-Note, which we know him.
Yep.
Carlton Silvestro.
That's right.
And that's in Leonardtown.
Do you know I didn't make the connection when I even typed that?
Oh, really?
It didn't.
Yeah.
I always think DJ Carlton. But I forgot that he goes by C-Note.
I've heard he's so much fun. So yeah, go to that.
Midget wrestling. I mean, that's
it is niche, man. But I bet it's fun.
Like Saturday, June 8th is the 38th annual St. Mary's County Crab Festival.
Ooh.
Now that's for people who have really bad attitudes. No, I'm kidding. It's it's all about crabs. That's at the St. Mary's County Fairgrounds. There's hot crabs, live bands, an animal zoo, jump houses, crafts, car show, crab picking contests, and more. And did I mention that it also has crabs?
Yeah, just like a couple times, yeah.
Well, if you like crabs, man, that's the place to be.
Yeah, and it sounds like a thing for the whole family with jump houses.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Come on, yeah. Okay, so coming up also on Saturday, and this one is right near us at the studio, there's Arts Fest. And that is on the Village Green in Indian Head, and that's by the Charles County Arts Alliance from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they're going to have live shows, foods, artisans, vendors, music, and crafts. So go support the Charles County Arts Council because they're doing phenomenal things. Each of the arts councils that we have here in Southern Maryland, it's so important what they're doing. All right, what you got?
Kayaking through time.
Ooh, kayaking.
Sounds like Bill and Ted's excellent kayaking adventure, right?
little bit.
Okay, Saturday, June 8th. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You go up to Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum in St. Leonard, right? You leisurely paddle along the Patuxent River and St. Leonard Creek. The scenic views, rich in natural and human history. Ages 13 and up. Sounds pretty exciting to me.
Yeah.
Great photo op.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, oh, God, nature.
Make sure your cameras are charged.
All right, and then finally on my end of things, on Saturday, June 8th at Sotterley Plantation, there is a habitat scavenger hunt from 10 a.m. to noon. It's family-friendly, and it's partnering with the Southern Maryland Audubon Society to learn about birds and their ecosystems, then set out on a scavenger hunt to find things mentioned. Afterwards, there's a small craft-related activity, and it's recommended for ages 5 to 8. So that is a fun thing you can do with your kids.
I love Sotterley. And, spring, summer, fall, there's always something
it's
going
so beautiful
on. And, of
there.
course, Ghost Tour is my long-standing favorite. One more thing.
Okay.
Auditions. For those of you who have not gone to other auditions we told you to go to, here's another chance. If you like Mel Brooks movies or whatever, Mel Brooks comedies, there's auditions for Young Frankenstein at Port Tobacco Players. It's Monday, June 10th, 7 p.m. The show goes up in October. Go to ptplayers.com/auditions, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. And do we even have to tell you what shows they're like?
Oh, my God. it's the closest thing that Southern Maryland has to a professional theater.
Absolutely.
The tech is unparalleled, and
And the seats are comfy.
exactly, the seats are comfy, and it's a large theater.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
And can you imagine Young Frankenstein?
I'm so pumped to cover that show. Like, I remember when it was on Broadway and being, I was pretty young, so I was like, oh man, I didn't get to see it. So now I'm gonna get a chance to see it, which is
it was
great.
done at Newtown Players a while back.
Okay.
And if you watched our Renaissance Fair, Ren Fest, you all know King Blotto.
Oh yes.
So that's Paul Rose, and he played Igor.
Ooh.
And needless to say, it was worth the price of admission
just for that.
to see Igor. And I messaged him, and I was like, dude, they're doing Young Frankenstein at PTP.
Yeah.
Go back. So remains to be seen whether or not he does.
Fingers crossed.
But that is one funny guy.
Oh my God, yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
How do people know where to go and what to do?
The ArtsFam podcast.
Watch the ArtsFam podcast every week. We'll tell you where all the hot stuff is. It's your job to jump in a car and go to it.
And if you like what we're doing here, covering these local artists and entertainers, a great, awesome way that you can support us for completely free is by liking, following, sharing, commenting, just engaging with our content any way you like. The algorithm doesn't care if it's positive, negative.
And sending to friends.
Exactly. As always, thank you so much, you beautiful human beings, for joining us on The Arts, a Fam, a podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye.